What's going on, gang? It's time for another River City Plus. You know, it's that space where we can have some deeper dive conversations. And it fits appropriately because we're hanging out with author Maggie Nick, who is a trauma therapist. And the synopsis of her book, which is called
Good Kids,
is about...
It's about the invisible trauma of being the child nobody ever needed to worry about.
That would be yours truly. I mean, just the little bit of the notes that I was reading, I don't know if I was as deep down as some of the people you're talking about, but this is something a lot of people really don't, when they go back and think about their childhood, they're like, yeah, I was a good kid. Yeah. And they don't think about the layers of how they became that good kid and how it affected them moving forward. So I'm just talking a lot about me. Why don't we talk about the book, right? So yeah, explain the good kid.
Yeah, I was a raging good kid. And all the way on one end, right? Not everybody's all the way on the end like I am, but I was, always behaved, never caused trouble. I never need to worry about you, nose boop, and the one we can count on. And I thought I had a great childhood, and I did to some extent. Like, it wasn't overtly traumatic and terrible and desolate, right? But as I started, there was a point I'm a social worker, and I've been a social worker for my whole career. And there was a point, I guess, right after college where I'm like, okay, I'm crushing life on paper, right? So why am I struggling so much? Like, why am I so vicious with myself and my body? Why is nothing ever, ever, ever good enough? Like, why do I, I'm crushing it in my job, but the second I accomplish, I move the goalpost. Like, it's like, I'm so mean to myself, and I'm sunshine and rainbows and sparkles and the nicest person anybody's ever met. And then just sort of seeing that, like, oh, isn't that interesting? I'm not like that with myself though. And I went to therapy, and things started to make sense, and okay, maybe it was this traumatic thing that happened in childhood. That's what it was. And so then I healed that. Not that you can never fully heal it, but did the work. Nothing really shifted. And I'm like, okay, if it's not that, what is it? And it's this. It's called relational shame trauma. That's the clinical words. And it's basically this belief that gets instilled in us at the deepest level that there's something wrong with us and that we have to be good in order to be acceptable. I gotta get you there, but essentially when we are trying to outrun this deep core belief that there's something wrong with us, it makes us feel like there are acceptable sides of us and very unacceptable sides that we can't ever show people. We have to prove that we're doing it. That one land?
I was a good kid, but I did learn how to work situations to my advantage, and maybe I was a little bit of a sneaky kid. But what you're saying, though, is so relatable because, I think a lot of mine was a fear of my own man more than anything. But, they give you that look, it wasn't, and then the environment I grew up in, I definitely felt like I had to do things different, just to blend in or to make everybody else more comfortable, even at my own expense. Now I think about it, I was like, it was this whole people-pleasing thing,
Can't make anybody mad. Can't let anybody down. God forbid.
Yeah, and now, I've gotten to an age, some through therapy and mostly just maturity, no F's given.
Right? It's so good. It's so good over here.
So with the book, are you the main subject? Did you have some people that you used as examples? How did you fill this out?
So it's mostly a self-help book that weaves my story and some of my clients' stories. And I have a membership for women called Good Girl Rehab. And so I had 9 members submit, or that we were able to include their stories in the book, which is very special. So it's a self-help book that weaves my and some of my clients' stories through. And then it's sort of the last part of the book is about how to break these cycles as the parent. But there's kind of healing yourself and parenting our kids are the same. They're two sides of the same coin. They're the same, words, phrases, everything. So it kind of all works together.
So you're kind of, if I'm just painting my own spectrum, you're kind of coming at this twofold. So one, you want anyone that reads it they can kind of get to a healing point. But then do you hope that they take these lessons as they are as a parent and use those so they don't put their kid in that box?
Oh, I mean, we will. It's not, I would if I hadn't healed this stuff and learned this. I mean, relational trauma is trauma that happens in relationships. And so our attachment with our parents is going to show up in every relationship. We carry those attachments and those wounds in our childhood into every relationship, including our kids and ourselves, right? And like that fear of what if people are mad, like that shows up in parenting, and it makes it hard for us to like, say no and mean it, and worry that our kids can be mad at us, and like be that confident, loving leader who can, have non-negotiable boundaries that help our kids feel safe and like hold them accountable for their actions and their impact, and help them make it right, but not punish them for the struggle. Like I think one of the things, if I can like zoom out to 30,000 feet, I really tried to think, how did this happen? Like how did I post one video in December of 2020 about the price I paid to be the good kid, and like 7 million views later, tens of thousands of people in the comments, like, this is my life. You just told the story down to the last detail. And I'm like, how did this happen? So I tried to zoom out and think, okay, this happened to us, but like, how did our parents become our parents that would say things like, I'll give you something to cry about. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. I love you, but I don't like you.
Oh man, I didn't get that one. Wow.
What is wrong with you?
I mean, that one, that's common everything. All right, so I see what you're saying.
So how did they become the parents? And it's because that's what was said to them, right? It gets handed down. And so I think when we talk about, like, one of the entry points as I've tried to share this work over the years is trying to help, we have an endpoint that kind of doesn't make sense based on how we were raised. Like, it seems like, okay, if I don't yell at my kids, if I don't shame them, if I don't make them feel bad about themselves, if I don't punish them enough to teach them a lesson, then they'll be like these, permissive, like terribly behaved kids. Like, I have this job, and the only way I know how to do it is when our kids are young and they're tantruming, we roll up our sleeves and we punish them as much as we have to till they can be little good kids. And then we're a good parent, right? That's how our parents did it. And so we have to be like, okay, that's not, first of all, we don't want permissive parenting. Let's just be so for real right now. Like, kids don't need fewer boundaries, they need better boundaries.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not about like making them feel bad about themselves for struggling with the boundary. And I think one of the things I did in the book that was triggering and delightful, both in equal amounts, was I went through all of the misguided expectations and beliefs about kids that informed our grandparents' parenting of our parents. That then got handed down. Like, kids should just be able to like be melting down 1 second and then like turn off a light switch and just be like, fine. Like, that's impossible physiologically, neurologically. It's not
sucking
not
that lip. You don't want to see that.
Right. And like the belief that we should be like, be good, and then kids should just be able to make good choices and just be good. Like, it's just that easy. And like, really, the behavior is any accurate measure of how a child is doing inside. It's not. But like, the first book, don't quote me on this, anybody, but I heard at some point that the first book that was ever published that proposed the idea that children had emotional needs that parents needed to meet was like in the 50s or 60s.
That tells it all.
I just don't think there has even been an awareness that children had emotional needs and parents needed to meet them. Like, I know that sounds crazy for us. We've been to therapy. We're like, but that is literally the truth. And so we have, we got to work with our parents and hold them accountable, and they don't get it and they think we should be grateful and all that. But like, we do have to consider that, like, never before in human history have parents been trying to meet children's emotional needs. Right? Yeah. There's just this like, be good thing. And like, make me proud.
You were throwing out so much, such a debate, because you would have so many old school heads that would just be like, well, no, this is, but I mean, especially, and really I have to pivot and say that COVID has just totally twisted and changed the game. So like like the emotional foundations that we grew up, good, bad, indifferent. That's what we had. But then COVID came in, and now everybody's emotions are out,
yep.
and it's like, and I know a lot of parents are just like, whoa,
yeah.
and you can't put that genie back in the bottle. And
so
I also wonder if, like, as our parent, it was just like emotions weren't a thing. Like you said, they weren't acknowledged. Like, men didn't cry.
Right.
Or whatever.
You
or
shouldn't need to have feelings.
Yeah, no, and now
like-
everybody's like, I'm embracing my feelings, and it's a lot.
And we're learning how to feel our feelings in therapy.
We're still working that out.
Yeah.
All right, so.
But it's a lot when you've been suppressing all of your feelings, and that's a good segue. Like, one of the things that to try to help everybody understand what I'm talking about is like when I have parents say, like, okay, I see your posts on disrespect. I understand that you're telling me that I'm trying to dominate my child into submission. And that's the problem, right? Like, I'm seeing good behavior as respect, and I'm seeing any disrespect as bad. Like, that is landing. But, like, how do I see the disrespect as not bad? Because I think it's bad. So here we go. The disrespect is frustrating, and it's maddening, and it's also human development, and like a thing that every human being goes through predictably in stages, right? So we could choose to opt out, we would, but we can't. It's there. And if we can see that disrespect as dysregulation instead, right? That their body is like a balloon about to pop because they've been pushing all of their stuff down because feelings aren't acceptable. So we just have to put our game face on and our smile, right? So the balloon is about to pop. We know what that's like when we're at a balloon about to pop, and it doesn't take much. And we just, right? When they're like that, they're almost like asking us for help with the release. Like, kids move into this thing, I call it the resistance, where they start pushing back on everything we say. They don't want to brush their teeth. They don't want to put their pajamas on. They don't like that thing you made today that they've eaten every day for they suddenly don't like it. The thing is not the thing. It's that they are at a 9.9 out of 10, and they just need something to go boop and help them release.
All right, so before we go deeper into that, did you ever, so being the good kid, was there ever a meltdown?
Never.
Never?
Oh, no.
Okay, so.
And I've spent my life recovering.
So let's move away from the parental units. You never had a meltdown in a situation that you've always been.
So I tell this story in the book. I mention it. I remember in high school, my boyfriend dumped me, and my girlfriends saw me cry for the first time. And they were like, guys, what do we do? Maggie's crying. Because I always took care of them. Like, I was on the extreme end.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, so I was thinking more from like an anger aspect, because that was mine. Like the tears thing, that's definitely come later, because I can, so much that I'm like, whatever. I was like robot.
Yeah.
But like from an anger, like, because I'm like, I've done this. And then there would be one moment, so minuscule.
And it's not about the thing. It's about all the things that added up to get there.
And it blows people's mind. Because I'm not really that type that gets to that level. I mean, and it, again, as I've moved on, it's not even so much people pleasing, whatever. But it's just like, things just don't register that heavy. Because I'm like, dude, whatever. The day's going. But if I get to that point, going back to the people pleasing aspect, or, you know, that is something, like you said, parents definitely need to take note of. Like, if there is a big blow up, like, okay, wait, you know, like you said, the thing isn't the... Know what you're fighting about. I've gotten arguments with people, and I'm like, you're not even fighting over... You know? So, all right, you're blowing up over... Are you really blowing up over this? Or
Exactly. Well, and, I mean, for so many good kids... Like, there are good kids on the end of the spectrum where they just, you know, I think the way that our parents parented us and the way we're going to go into parenting our kids is we're going to see you know, knock it out, right? Pushing down every sign of disrespect is going to cause our kids to bottle their feelings, right? And like that moment when you hit the point of no return, like, that's our kid. That's what's happening right now. Like, us expecting them to just stop is like how would you do that? Like, I can't stop it when it's like the volcano is going, you know?
All right. So with that, what about like, is this when it comes to like not sharing feelings? This is how kids end up balling it up. And then when the parents are like, well, you can talk to me anytime about anything. Because I got that a lot. And I'm
Yeah.
like, nope.
Not a chance.
Nope. And then that's carried over into my adult life. More like, I'm not giving you any fuel
Right.
to
Use against
burn me, you know.
Oh, that's
You know,
really
so, and is that something that's probably ingrained because?
hugely.
I don't know.
I mean, I think parents want so badly to make their kids feel good. I mean, we all do, right? Like we're messing up all the time, but what we want is for our kids to feel good about themselves. And we want them to feel loved. And it's been heartbreaking over the years. Parents will say, you know, I tell my kid I love you all the time. And then last night she said, I feel like you don't love me. And parents are just like, God, tell me, what am I doing? And it's like, if we want our child to feel like we love them, then we have to love them all the time, not just when they're behaving. And like, we're not saying I don't love you right now when they're misbehaving, but when we're acting like they've fallen out of favor with us and we're like, I can't even look at you right now. Our kid's like, okay, this version of me is not acceptable and I have to hide it. And like the belief is this version of me is unlovable. Right?
I got so many conversations. We're gonna have to wrap it because I'm like, we can talk about this forever. So that means you just have to read the book. And then you can join the conversation yourself. You can go to Facebook, wherever, and jump on her Facebook, her socials, and you'll be like, oh my God, I read your book, and it touched me this way. So if people want to find the book, where would they go?
Go to MaggieNick.com.
Easy. Easy. All right, so thank you for enlightening me, and my therapist is going to thank you for making them more money. So, all right, I'm kidding y'all. All right, so we're going to wrap this up, but you guys, we're going to have more pluses in the near future, and as always, you can tune in Monday through Friday on News for Jacks for more River City Live.